Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all of us. My name is Muhammad Shazwan Hazib bin Hashim, student from Faculty of Chemical Engineering, UiTM Shah Alam, course Oil and Gas Engineering, EH2437A. Today, I will be presenting my first final year project presentation. My supervisor is Dr. Noroslina binti Rosli. For my final year project title is a preliminary study on soybean waste extract as a natural surfactant for enhanced oil recovery application. As for my introduction, I will cover on research background, the problem statement, research objective, and my project scope. For my research background, in the rise of new era in developing the alternative for new source of energy, the demand of hydrocarbon from global consumers have not yet decreasing and still act as a main source of energy, and the production of oil and gas were still looking for a new way of improvement in achieving full productivity in economically feasible and toward a cleaner way in respect of environment-friendly procedure. Oil is primarily recovered by the reservoir natural drive mechanism, which are solution gas, get water influx, gasket drive, and gravity drainage. However, to further improve production, secondary or tertiary mechanisms tend to be applied. It is a fact that oil tends to run out so soon, and yet more residue of petroleum in the reservoir still trapped between the pores of the rock after the production of oil by conventional way. In realizing the fact, new strategy was built to gain more from the field and the application of enhanced oil recovery, or we call EOR, as alternative ways in recover the production of oil, specifically altering the physical properties of oil to become more easily extracted. It has become important strategy to confirm a continuous supply of oil. Research in developing the EOR method is not an easy job and one of the most challenging part in upstream sector. If the production were dependent only by natural push that exists from the presence of reservoir pressure, the successful extraction of oil can be achieved was only 5 to 30% from the original oil in place. The emulsion formation, water in oil emulsion, oil in water emulsion, is considered as a major problem to handle with. It is also a fact that the cost for both in terms of treating the emulsion with chemical and production loss. EOR generally increase the total production of the oil and helps in recover back until the total recovery rise to 70% of reservoir oil, and it also stabilizing the pressure in reservoir during the production. This stage of oil production, called secondary production period, then EOR processes are followed the period of secondary recovery processes. They are sometimes called tertiary or recovery method. The purpose of this method is to extend the lifetime of reservoir by support of water flooding or other conventional method. There are a few problems for my final year project. The first problem is, can natural surfactant behave similarly like current surfactant? The second one is soybean waste still contains saponin, which will act as a natural surfactant? And lastly, can it lower the surface interfacial tension of oil? There are two main objectives for my final year project. The first objective is to extract the saponin from the soybean waste and isolate it for surfactant application. The second is to study the effectiveness of surfactant saponin base from the soybean waste in reducing interfacial tension of oil and water. My project scope is consists of 8 different activities. The first activity is to build research framework. My research framework is consists of project background, problem statement, and project objective. The second activity is literature review. In literature review, I will be reviewing any journal that relating to my topic. The third activities is to find any recent studies that related to my title. And the fourth is propose methodology. In my methodology, I will list all of the materials that I need for my experiment and the procedure and the equipment that I required. And the next is experiment conducted. After the experiment has been conducted, the data will be analyzed and will be shown in graphical method or any other method to learn the trend from the relationship of my hypothesis. The next is discussion. From the hypothesis, I will be discuss my data. Last but not least, I will conclude my project in one conclusion. In my literature review, it will consist of a few topics. The first topic is enhanced oil recovery, and the second topic is surfactant flooding. The third topic is types of surfactant, and the fourth topic is natural surfactant properties, and the last topic is interfacial tension studies. Definition of EOR is a set of production technologies that involve the injection of energy or fluid to improve oil recovery at any stage of production, whether primary, secondary, or tertiary, with the purpose of increasing the total recovery above what is possible through traditional method. EOR can measure subdivided into three divisions. The first one is chemical, the second is thermal, and the third is miscible. Chemical EOR is the optimization of injection water by adding a chemical or fine-tuning the chemistry. There are three types of chemical EOR: surfactant flooding, polymer flooding, and caustic flooding. Polymer flooding, where the injection water is made more viscous in order to push the crude from the injection to the producing well. This type of EOR is mostly used with crude that have a higher viscosity. Surfactant flooding, where a soap is pushed through the reservoir to get remaining oil droplet out of the pores by reducing the surface tension of the droplets. This creates a micro-emulsion which increases the mobility of the crude. The soap can be the surfactant or created as petroleum soap by alkali. The chemical cocktail is stabilized by polymer, hence the name alkali surfactant polymer ASP flooding. Caustic injected into the petroleum reservoir reacts chemically with the fatty acid present in the petroleum derivative and form in situ sodium salt of fatty acid. The formation of this surfactant results in ultra-low interfacial tension. Thermal recovery is a process of injecting the heat into the reservoir to reduce oil viscosity or thin it and significantly enhance its ability to flow through the reservoir. It also reduces tension between rock and liquid, which in turn improves oil mobility and result in easier flow. In addition, heated oil vaporizes, then forming thinner oil via condensing. Thermal recovery is the most widely used method worldwide for heavy oil projects and accounts for more than 33.33% of the global EOR production, and can be cyclic steam injection is also known as the half and puff method. Steam is injected into a well and then left in the well for a period of time to heat the oil and make it flow more easily. This recovery rate of this method is less efficient than others and can only extract around 20% of the oil in place. It is a common practice to produce in cyclic steam for a few cycles and then use the steam flooding method. Each cycle inject soap produced can last between a few weeks to months. Steam flooding is the process of constant injection of steam to the reservoir through an injection well to heat heavy oil and improve the viscosity. In addition, as steam condenses into hot water, the additional water drive pushes the oil toward producing well. This technique results in the recovery rate of 25% to 70% of the oil in place. Normally, steam is generated by using natural gas to heat the water in situ combustion used primarily in oil fields with high saturation and porosity. This method of thermal recovery generates heat inside the reservoir. In shallow depth formation, gas burners are used to provide the burn in the formation. The pie chart shows the percentage of recovery for each EOR method. The pie chart obtained from Oil and Gas Journal 2008, and the highest percentage of recovery is CO2 miscible method, and the second highest is thermal method. As for chemical injecting method is 1.08% for the percentage of recovery. Introduction of surfactant. Surfactants are organic compounds, also termed as surface active agent. Surfactants contain at least one liphophilic solvent-loving and at least one lipophobic solvent-fearing group in the molecule. In usual circumstances, the solvent is water, and the term hydrophobic and hydrophilic are used for solvent-fearing and solvent-loving group respectively. Traditionally, the polar group is termed as head, and the long nonpolar chain is known as tail. The hydrophilic group is usually polar and is soluble, and in water, while the hydrophobic group is nonpolar and is water insoluble. Soluble is nonpolar phase. Due to this unique ability to have two different groups available in the same molecule, surfactant acts on the interface of two immiscible phases, example water and oil, and lower the interfacial tension between these two phases. During this interfacial tension lowering process, the hydrophilic part of the surfactant remains in the water, while the hydrophobic part tries to remain in the oil, making more contact between the two phases and causes the interfacial tension to reduce. The interfacial tension is called surface tension when air is the nonpolar phase. The ability of surfactants to act on the interface makes them unique in the chemical industry, and therefore the surfactant plays a major role in many industrial and household applications. They are used in domestic and industry process for cleaning, wetting, dispersion, emulsification, foaming, and anti-foaming application. Numerous industrial and household chemical formulations use surfactant as detergent, soaps, shampoo, ink, paint, adhesive, herbicide, firefighting chemical for enhanced oil recovery application. Due to this multi-function application, surfactants capture a remarkable portion of the chemical market. Anionic surfactants are the major player in the surfactant market, and their global demand in 2010 was $6.5 million. The type of surfactant can be classified into four major groups. The first one is anionic surfactant. The second is cationic surfactant. The third one is non-ionic surfactant, and the fourth one is amphoteric surfactant. All the surfactant is classified based on their charge on hydrophobic head. These are a few examples of structure anionic surfactant, non-ionic surfactant molecules, amphoteric surfactant molecules, and cationic surfactant molecules. What happens when surfactant in solution. When surfactants are mixed in aqueous solution, they tend to be adsorbed between the air-water interfaces. If their concentration is increased continually in the solution, then the surfactant molecules start assembling into well-organized structure called micelle. Micelles are dynamic structures that form and break in microseconds at a very high speed. The minimum concentration required to start micelle formation is termed as critical micelle concentration, which is one of the fundamental properties of surfactant. Many of the solution properties change after the CMC has been achieved. If the oil is also present along with the water surfactant solution, emulsion can be formed. When the water is the continuous phase, water larger in proportion than oil, surfactant encapsulate the oil droplet in the micelle by making a core with their non-polar tail, while their polar head remain in the water, making an outer shell. An example of application for surfactant in petroleum industry. The first one is drilling mud. The second one is asphaltic emulsion. The third one is corrosion inhibition. The fourth one is oil spill cleaning agent. And lastly, application in EOR method. Next, I will discuss about saponin as natural surfactant. Saponin. Their name is derived from Latin word sapo, meaning soap, due to their surfactant properties which allows forming stable soap-like form upon shaking in aqueous solution. They are large molecules and contain a hydrophobic part composed of a triterpenoid or steroid backbone, and a hydrophilic part consisting of several saccharide residues attached to the hydrophobic scaffold through glycoside bond. Saponins are derived from different parts of plants, and their distribution among the organs of plant vary. The size, shape, and structure of the saponin micelle depends on their plant origin, pH, temperature, and the electrolyte in the solution. The micelle forming properties of the CMC and the aggregation number of saponin were affected by temperature, salt concentration, and pH of the aqueous phase, still stable on high heat conditions. For my methodology, I propose for 3 stages in my final year project. The first stage is sample preparation. The collected sample of soybean waste will be grinding and drying to remove moistureness of the sample. Next, it will be extracted with 70% aqueous ethanol using rotary evaporator. Next step is to dilute with water in ultrasound bath. Next is to mix with hexane and ethanol in ultrasound bath. Then dry the concentrated. Second stage is to perform the detection of saponin using HPLC. For stage 1 and stage 2 will achieve the first objective for my final year project. The third stage is interfacial tension measurement using contact angle goniometer. The stage 3 will achieve my second objective. This is my expected result for my final year project. The figure above is show saponin extracted. Saponin extracted will be seen in liquid and foam are formed. And then the graph for the detection of saponin through HPLC method. Then the interfacial tension measurement using tensiometer, and this is the expected graph that will produce. The trend is the interfacial tension will be increasing as the surfactant concentration will be increased until it remain constant. This is the end of my final year project presentation. Thank you for your attention.